Hello to you all. Today, I'm really excited to start a series of videos on the diffuse architecture. In this series of videos, we're going to go through an overview of all the components and things that make up a diffuse instance, a diffuse setup. You guys have access to diffuse EOS. This contains all the components, right, that will run on your laptop, and that can be deployed also on some clusters where each of those components can then be deployed separately, scaled independently, and I'm going to go through all those components so that you get a better understanding of the general idea of diffuse architecture. In this first video, I'm going to just give you the list of components. We'll have a video specific for each of them. So this is just a basic overview, and let's start right away. So when we start a new project in diffuse here, we can say diffuse EOS init, and then if you answer yes at this question, it's going to set up sort of the most complete configuration for the setup for a local instance, and it contains the configuration that basically says boot when you start, boot all of these components together in the same process, and they'll all be, if you use the default values for the config flags, all be interconnected, right? But they're using TCP sockets in between, so you can then easily split them together, just change the flag so that they now communicate together, and then you can start scaling your deployment. So these are the different components. You can have, if you use diffuse.io start, you can have a list of all the available components. You can start one of them, two of them, all of them, right? And then you have all these flags that are specific to each of those applications, the API proxy, and then there's a bunch of flags in there for you to configure. So I'm going to just go through the list and tell you approximately what it does, and there's going to be a video on each of them, okay? So the first element here, I'm going to put them in batch. The search system is composed of 4 components. So search live, search fork resolver, search indexer, and search archive. The indexer is the thing that does the work to take incoming data from the chain. We're going to see what produces that data otherwise. It takes the data, indexes it, puts an index so that the search archive can consume it, and then the search live is the thing that indexes blocks real time and applies those queries in real time. And then the search fork resolver is a thing that allows you to, re-navigate forks after the fact, giving it the high levels of guarantee that diffuse provides. Now that's it for search. Then there's MindReader, and sort of paired with Node Manager. These two components are things that wrap Node EOS to execute it and pilot it. I'm going to have a video on MindReader especially. So one was going to run the producer node, and one is going to run the reading node in a setup where you have, you're syncing another network. You won't run the producer node, but the features are there. We'll have a video for that. And then we have the merger. A merger is a thing that is designed for highly available setups. It takes the blocks that are produced by many mind readers, fuses them together, and stores that on the side so that any process can feed blocks, similar in a sense to what state history does, but this thing combines all forks that are seen, so you're always able to navigate out. So we'll get the details about that a little bit later. TRXDB loader is a process that takes in any information extracted from Node EOS and writes it into sort of a simple key value store. It's basically the store for blocks, transaction trace, and all these things. TRXDB loader feeds in. Then we have EOSQ. EOSQ is the block explorer that you've come to love. The deepest, gives you a lot of information. It's basically a looking glass on the blockchain, right? It comes built in diffuse EOS. If you boot a local thing, you'll have it, all the streaming capabilities, all the depth of the data for your debugging purposes. Pretty cool. Now, API proxy is a simple thing that we put in front just so that you can route to the different processes. That looks like a real diffuse deployment, right? When we give you an endpoint for diffuse, it's like eos.main or mainnet.eos.diffuse.io. Well, with the API proxy, you have a similar thing, and it routes to the different components without you needing to run an Nginx, right, or whatever thing in front, even though you're separating the services. So small built-in Nginx. FluxDB. FluxDB is an awesome piece of engineering, I think. It's very special. It's very intertwined with blockchain. It's a database that gives you the state of the blockchain at any block height in history, sort of specially crafted to give you that with a special indexing strategy to give you at any block height. And also, yeah. Block meta is sort of the spinal cord of the whole infrastructure. Block meta is always aware of the state of the chain and can help the different systems bootstrap to know, am I in catch-up mode and whatever. So block meta is a simple service that we hit. Is that block irreversible? What's the highest block? You know, small things, spinal cord, everything syncs up together to know the state of the network. Then dGraphQL is the GraphQL interface, calls the other systems, basically does the interface and calls, yeah, exactly that. The relayer here is a component to aid in sort of scaling your infrastructure, right? We'll see the mind readers, they provide block data from the first layer. Relayers are sort of a fan-out mechanism for propagation of block and right, just topologic. We'll have videos about that. Then ABI codec is a service that's dedicated to encoding and decoding JSON blobs in terms of the ABI, right? It knows the ABIs at any block height, is able to decode and encode small dedicated service so that when you need to do these things, we can scale it separately. ABI coding, coder, decoder, right? And EOSWS, we call it EOSWS here. EOSWS is one of the first projects we started when we started dfuse. It has all the WebSocket machinery. It does you know, some forwarding to other services. It contains also the transaction push guarantee you know, features. There's a bunch of other things. We'll have a video about that one too. The dashboard here is something specific to dfuse EOS, the binary. It's not something we ship in production. It's just to understand the apps that are running when you're running on your laptop. Are they running? What's the state? Whatever. A debugging tool for the single binary. Hope this is helpful just to debunk, you know, just demystify a little bit of the components. And we're going to go very deep in each of those in the series of videos that we're going to go through. So thank you for being with us, and we'll see you around.